IVM.
Welcome to another week on IVM Podcast. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. This week on Cyrus Says, Cyrus talks to restaurateurs Pankaj Shah, Abhishek Hunawar, and Sumit Gambhir of Neighborhood Hospitality, better known as the guys who started Woodside. They talk about their past and they talk about their future. They talk a lot more about their future in a new show that we got launching called The Kulaba Cartel. Please make sure that you check that out as well. In a 2-episode special on the Pragati podcast, Pavin and Hamsini are joined by author and legal expert Rahul Mathan to discuss the Sri Krishna report and India's tryst with the concept of privacy. On Shrinu this week, we have Vishal Gondal from the Vishal Gondal Show. He takes us through his journey on Goki. And just a quick shout out to all of our listeners. Along with the Kulaba Cartel, we have a whole host of other shows launching this month. So stay tuned to the IVM podcast app and make sure that you follow all of our new shows as well.
Hello and welcome to the Geek Food Bulletin, where we discuss some things that are news and some things that are not news, because who's going to stop us really? Who's going to stop us, Tejas?
Nobody.
Exactly. That's why we'll talk about the news as well as the not news.
All right.
And this week I have a very weird mixed bag of news that I have pulled up in the past 45 seconds.
Every week is weird.
Every week is weird, but this is our hot take
Correct.
of sorts.
Also, is it news or not news?
This week?
Yeah.
This week it's a
You
lot
said
of...
mixed bag though.
It's a mixed bag, but it's all news. But it's some weird news.
Okay, cool.
So to start with, I want to talk about this, though it's not the freshest of newses. But this dude called Mark Hamill is in the new Star Wars. Have you all heard about this?
Oh, are you talking about for episode 9 and stuff?
For episode 9.
I think that was
a given. But
yeah.
Essentially, they've said that they're bringing back both Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher.
So
Carrie Fisher, they're going to use a bunch of outtakes from episode 8.
That's what I found to be more...
I find that
interesting.
really, how much do they shoot for this movie?
Exactly.
Do you think it's going to be one of those things where they cut out different words like a kidnapper's ransom note?
No, I sincerely hope not. But I think what it is going to be is that there must have been a lot of, meaningful exchanges that happened between the characters that were not relevant to the plot of Force Awakens. Oh, I always believed that something would happen, blah, blah, blah. And, those kind of lines and stuff. And they'll complete our arc using those things.
I have full faith that they'll pull it off really well.
But how?
Because they said they would use it to close out her arc. J.J. Abrams specifically said, we will bring her story to a close, which seems really hard to do.
Which means they're not going to kill her off.
Yeah.
And I think they're not going to... I don't think they will have a conclusion. What's going to happen is they're going to have to just ask her, they're just going to say, oh, she left, or, something off screen or something.
There'll be giant sequences of people talking to her just off screen, like, what, Carrie?
Oh, God. No, but I think, they might Alderaan it, you never know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's possible. So it just happens off screen and we see pain pass over everyone's faces.
Yeah, and Luke is like, I hear the voices of a billion
They made
people.
the very interesting choice to not use any digital version of her, which is...
it's fair. I get it. I get why, because it's too close for people. I mean, even,
And they said it's out of respect, but they have used a digital version of her already.
Where?
In Rogue One.
Yeah, but she was alive then, innit?
Yeah.
I think it's a different matter entirely.
Yeah,
but,
true.
But I think the other thing is that they're trying to do is, I think they've bought Lando in now to kind of...
Correct, yeah.
Be the more, that third, more experienced
do you think
person.
episode 9 is actually going to close out this arc?
Yeah, they've said that it's going to stop. This is the end of the Skywalker saga.
Right.
Which breaks my heart in many ways, but I'm also like, it's time.
This let's call it...
has suffered enough. And when I say that, I don't mean because the movies are bad. I think the fans are just the worst.
There's just been a lot of heartache. And the fans
it's toxic,
the fans
man.
are becoming terrible.
It's toxic.
They're the worst.
I can't believe... I don't know if Star Wars is like this for the first time ever, or this was exactly what it was like during the prequels?
I think it was like this during the prequels, because I was actually watching, I was reading this article about reactions to the first couple of movies, particularly Empire Strikes Back, in Star Wars fanzines and stuff.
Yeah.
It was just like this toxic hatred. But now everyone has a very open platform where you could complain to the guy who made the movie directly, and so apparently people choose to do it.
Man, I hope that in time people will be able to see the masterpiece that Last Jedi is, at least in my opinion. I think it did a lot of service for, the Star Wars franchise. They made it relevant. They made it current.
I think they will. We will see it as an empire eventually, which people hated when it came out, apparently.
It's solid.
So I think there's always going to be, as has been famously said, haters is going to be hating.
Yeah.
So
and haters, come at me, man. I love the movie. Come at me.
Yeah.
Let's
come
do
at
this.
me.
Let's do this.
Just talk to us on our Twitters and don't drive us off, please.
I will destroy you.
Speaking of the Star Wars, someone who is connected to Star Wars in an odd way, Topher Grace.
How is he connected to Star Wars?
Because he made a cut called Episode 3.5.
Correct.
The Editor Strikes Back.
Okay, so he's not. He's not been in a.
He's
Star
not
Wars,
been
right?
in a Star Wars. No.
What can I say?
I was doing a segue, Tejas. I'm a professional.
Well, he's been in a Marvel film.
What? He has been in a Marvel
Venom.
film.
He's the original Venom.
Correct. Yes, but
he's
not in an MCU film. A Marvel.
He
film.
was Venom. Yeah, and Marvel is owned by Disney, which owns Star Wars. That's a segue, Dinkar.
My segue was better, Tejas. Speaking of things that are better, Topher Grace apparently, a few years ago, I want to say, 4 to 5 years ago, made a cut of the Star Wars prequels that comes in at a fleet 80 minutes.
Yes.
He cut them into something that he screened it in Hollywood a couple of times until apparently Lucasfilm, I suppose at that point, asked him to stop.
Cease and desist,
the movie is still available online.
Yeah, of course. And I think the strange thing is that he did that as an exercise to get over a role that he had done in a film.
Correct. And he's done it again because in the why this is news as well as not news is that he's made a similar cut of all the Hobbit movies.
Yeah.
Is Topher Grace's thing now just to make single movie edits of prequel trilogies?
I hope that's not his legacy, but that's a really good thing.
That's the weirdest niche a person could find.
It's awesome. Dude, that's what wins the internet, man. Yeah, it's great. I think Topher Grace is awesome.
Topher Grace of all people.
Man,
he's great.
I love That 70s Show.
Yeah, he's great in That 70s Show. So right now he played David Duke in a movie. In a Spike Lee movie,
correct,
I want to say.
Yeah.
And apparently it really depressed him because he went a little method and he was like, I just became a terrible person because I was trying to be David Duke, the founder of the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
And so to kind of take his mind off it, he cut the Hobbit movies down. What surprises me is he could cut the prequels for Star Wars down into 80 minutes. Hobbit, he kept to about 2 hours.
Because that's part of the books, man.
I suppose so.
Yeah, you can't... Actually, that's true, though. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would think of a lot more that I would want to keep in the Star Wars prequels.
But is there so much superfluous kind of stuff in the Star Wars prequels that doesn't really need to be there?
I know. I'm sure he cut out like a lot of plot points, but basically just plot points that didn't matter in the end.
I think he just kept it to the Anakin
machete
story.
order, removes an entire movie?
Yeah. I think he must have just kept the Anakin story, and that's about
correct.
It. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, he kept it to
we should watch
all
this.
business. We should. I tried looking for it once and I couldn't really find it. Maybe it's on Vimeo or maybe it's on
probably
torrents.
On Vimeo, yeah, something like that. Yeah. Cool. Well done, Topher Grace.
What an interesting dude.
Cool guy.
Also, I think Hobbit would work well as a single movie.
100%. It should have been one movie, or at least 2 movies.
It should have been one.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is Linda Hamilton is back in the Terminator franchise.
So
Did you even know this was happening?
I only found out yesterday while the movie was going on.
Correct.
Yeah.
What? And we found out because we saw a picture of Linda Hamilton in the movie.
Correct.
It's a publicity still.
Yeah.
What is going on?
So I didn't even know that there was a movie in the works, So that means they're well into it. And this is a thing.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Is next year just going to be the return of the female leads, but older in movies, including Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween?
Correct. Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back in Halloween.
Oh, is that this year, though?
Sure. Wait, Terminator 6 is 2019?
No, that will be 2019, or if not further on. But
Halloween can't be coming out right now because I only just heard of it.
The trailer just dropped.
Shut up.
Yeah.
The world moves very fast, man.
Dude.
What is happening?
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Dude, the world moves very fast. We're in August.
Oh, no.
That's crazy.
Time has flown.
And somebody's going to be turning 30. No, 29? 30.
30?
Yeah.
That is myself.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay. So it's fine. So yes, to answer your question,
Speaking of people who are in their 30s, this is called a segue, Tejas. Priyanka Chopra lands coveted cowboy ninja Viking role opposite Chris Pratt.
I saw this.
Yeah, do you know what a cowboy ninja Viking is?
I know them individually.
Cowboy Ninja Viking is an Image comic series about a dude who has multiple personalities, much like
James McAvoy
in Split. So he's an assassin who contains within himself the personalities of a cowboy, ninja, and believe it or not, a Viking.
No, but does he have the skills of those said individuals?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Because sometimes when you have a multiple personality disorder, how do you attain
because you are that person, right?
Yeah, but you have to learn the skills.
I believe they get kidnapped and trained to be 3-in-1s.
Like the tape decks we used to get as kids.
Correct, exactly. Why I found this interesting was because this is not, like, it's barely a piece of news, right? She's been cast in the role, but every single article I've read uses the same phraseology. So this is basically like Priyanka Chopra's incredible PR machine. Yeah. That woman is owning it. So apparently the role was highly coveted. And Chopra went and did a chemistry test with Chris Pratt that went extremely well.
Oh, that is disgusting.
This is so clearly just press release material.
Yeah.
Man, Priyanka Chopra, she's doing really well.
And she's marrying this guy now.
Who?
Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Nick Jonas is going to be a Jijaji.
Oh, God.
Is that a thing? Jijaji, correct?
You know what's really weird, though? Oh, Sala, isn't it Sala?
Oh, right, yeah. Priyanka Chopra's our sister? In this situation?
Well, I mean, yeah. She's a sister.
Yeah. She's one of us.
She's a sister. No, but here's the thing, though. You know what I found really bizarre is that when I checked Mission Impossible Fallout, like I was just checking the news on like Google and stuff, there are only Indian websites that talk about everything else apart from the movie. Like you'll have THR and Variety doing stuff about like the Halo jump and, you know, different sequences and about how Jeremy Renner was about to be in the movie, blah, 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 and all that.
Yeah.
Times of India only talking about Tom Cruise and the actress who plays the broker, I can't remember her name, the White Widow.
Vanessa Kirby.
Like a relationship like rumor.
Right,
and I was just like, you guys are such assholes. Like, is this the only news you can talk about?
That's the only thing the Indian papers covered, you're saying?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I saw it in Times of India. I saw it on Planet Bollywood thing.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's so... Yeah, I didn't even. But like...
Tom Cruise is in a committed relationship with Zenu.
Correct.
So he can't...
Is he done with his wife then?
Who's his wife right
Wasn't
now?
Katie Holmes his...
that ended long ago. She got away.
Correct. She escaped.
She literally escaped the church. Right now, he's a single man. There is a great story about Tom Cruise where Cuba Gooding Jr.'s father, Cuba Gooding, met
senior,
him. Yeah.
Surely.
Is he a senior or is he just Cuba
One
Gooding?
Second, if you're a dude, must you have a senior attached to your name if you want to eventually
if you want to name your kid Junior?
Junes, yeah.
No, it's got to be Cuba Gooding and Cuba Gooding Jr., right?
Yeah.
This is my theory. I don't know.
This junior thing is bizarre. It doesn't exist in India, does it?
No, thank God. Would you name your kid Tejas Menon Jr.?
No, I just added Tejas, but add like 3 Ks extra, whatever. That's probably what would happen
for the numerologies and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Cuba Gooding Sr. met Tom Cruise and was apparently super excited. And he was like, hey man, how you doing? Love your stuff.
Because their sons are buddies.
Yeah, because their sons are buddies.
Correct.
This was while they were shooting Jerry Maguire.
Okay, cool.
And then he went like, all right man, so tell me. You gay or what? And Cuba Gooding Jr., like this was a story Cuba Gooding Jr. was telling on a talk show, and he was like, I was just like, oh my God, what is going to happen?
Classic senior
And
move.
apparently Tom Cruise just laughed and went like, no man, of course not. I don't know why I did a Mickey Mouse voice there.
Yeah, I know, exactly. But if you see the amount of homoeroticisms in the Top Gun films now, there's going to be
I mean, there has been a long-standing rumor that he is gay and that the whole Katie Holmes marriage was a sham.
And Nicole Kidman?
Yeah, how can the Nicole Kidman marriage be a sham?
Man, how can you ditch Nicole Kidman? I love her.
Who knows?
But she's gone under the knife too much, I think.
Who, Nicole Kidman now? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Do you think Tom Cruise has gone under the knife? Or does he just draw his youth from Xenu? He probably draws his youth from Xenu.
I think he's a healthy guy for sure, because if he needs to be doing all this stuff cannot be easy.
There's you know that scene where Alec Baldwin and Tom Cruise are shouting at each other in Mission Impossible Fallout?
Man, yeah.
They are 4 years apart.
Yeah, I know.
Look at Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin has a different life choice.
He has a different life. And I think, he chose to do some drinking.
I like Alec. I love Alec Baldwin.
I love the guy. Yeah. He's amazing. He's freaking Jack Donaghy. He's always been great. But I just can't believe that Tom Cruise...
The Six Sigma rule, bro.
Yeah. Tom Cruise is just a force of nature, man.
Man, it's crazy.
What a nut job. He has this like... it's like you could look into his eyes and there's nothing there.
Man, I've always imagined this thing. I saw Graham Norton, the episode with him and, the cast and stuff. And Simon Pegg is there. And, Simon Pegg's like, I know him pretty well. Man, but Simon Pegg is one of us, right? Like, he's one of the bros. You think that, like, it's weird, right? It's like if one of us got to work with, say, like, Shah Rukh Khan or something.
Yeah.
And you're bros with him. You kind of know him, but you don't really know him.
I don't think any... But here, Tom Cruise, I believe, is a ridiculously nice person.
I have no
He's
doubt
done
about
like
that.
some of the most amazing things you've ever heard of.
Like charitably, like...
also he's just like really, really kind to all his co-stars and stuff, like Jake Johnson, who starred with him in The Mummy.
Love
He
Jake
talks
Johnson.
about him like Tom Cruise is the greatest guy in the world. Bill Hader was once... There's this amazing story Bill Hader tells about how there was a shooting in New York.
Right.
And Bill Hader was shooting some promos for some awards show with Tom Cruise in LA or something.
Right.
And Bill Hader had just had a kid.
Yeah.
And he was really worried about his wife and daughter. And Tom Cruise noticed this. He didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise just went over to Bill Hader and went like, hey man, what's wrong? And Bill Hader was like, I just had a kid. There's been a thing in New York. I'm really worried.
Yeah.
And he was stuck in LA for the next 2 days
Right.
shooting this promo. So Tom Cruise suddenly just took over the set. He's like, all right, shut everything down. I'm going to direct this. There was 2 days of shoot scheduled. Tom Cruise wrapped the entire thing in 2 hours. And then he put Bill Hader on a flight and sent him to New York.
Wow.
He was like, the set suddenly transformed because Tom Cruise went like, I'm doing this. He directed all the coverage and he was done. Tom Cruise didn't have to be there. He just did this to get Bill Hader back home.
That's insane.
What a guy.
Wow.
And this is like one of many, many, many stories about Tom Cruise just being an insanely good person.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I can see him being bros with people.
I
think he taught Zac Efron how to ride a motorbike.
Yeah.
For no reason. He just went like, hey, Zac, do you know how to ride a motorbike? Zac was like, no. He's like, cool, come over. And then he taught him.
Man, this sounds a lot weirdly though, like Salman Khan.
Kind of,
Minus
yes.
the murder and stuff. You know?
They do have that same dead-eyed look all the time.
And I've heard like really good stories about Salman Khan being a good guy to people.
Yeah.
But I mean, we just know
But
what
also
kind of
he's
character
killed people.
portrait he is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I just find that really strange. He's got the Scientology thing, I suppose.
Do you think Salman Khan could be a good Scientologist?
Oh, he'd win.
We should try and recruit
he
him.
probably is, you know.
Yeah, we should recruit him.
Yeah.
And get him.
Anyway,
up.
so this episode brought to you by the Church of Scientology.
Yeah. Hey, Church of Scientology, if you're looking for a podcast to sponsor, say word up to the Geek Fruit Bulletin.
Yes. Please
Don't sponsor
do so.
the main show.
We need that.
But you can sponsor the Bulletin. Speaking of the main show, this week, why we've discussed Tom Cruise so extensively is because he's playing on our minds heavily. Because on our full-length episode this week, we talk about the Mission Impossible franchise and all its adrenaline-packed glory.
Yes.
And we discuss Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah, it's a special episode.
It's a very special episode. So check that out and reach out to us on all the socials at Geekfruit HQ. This has been the Geekfruit Bulletin. Bye.
Every week comes a show where 3 people come together to tell you about stuff they like. A movie, a TV show, a book, and other stuff. Tune in every Monday on the IVM Podcast app to IVM Likes. Batman approves this message. Thank you, Batman.
Hello there, my name is Naveen Narona, and as a gay person in India, I get asked a lot of stupid questions.
Beta, is it LGBT or eligibility?
How do 2 men procreate?
Bro, is Grindr better than Tinder or what?
We answer all these questions and much more on my podcast, Keeping It Queer, where I talk to individuals from the LGBT community in India and learn about their personal stories. Catch all the episodes on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app you like. Till then, keep it queer.